Okay, today we're going to take a look at Caribbean South America for Chapter 10. Now, Caribbean South America is the name given to the countries that are in the northern part of South America that border the Caribbean Sea. They're made up of Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and a French territory called French Guiana. Now, overall, this area is covered in many forests, and the forests have separated people and their cultures for many years. So many different tribal areas were living in areas where there were clearings, and the forests kind of separated them and kept them apart from one another. Now, the highest point in the region is in Colombia, and it is a part of the mountain range known as the Andes that take up most of west of South America. The Andes rise above over 18,000 feet, and these mountain ranges form a new landform that we haven't talked about yet, and it's called a cordillera. Now, a cordillera exists when you have mountain ranges that run parallel or side by side to one another. Due to their location on tectonic plates, there is lots of volcanoes and earthquakes on this area due to the tectonic activity. Next to Colombia, in Venezuela, it's a part of an area known as the Guiana Highlands. Now, these highlands have existed for millions of years, but they've been eroding slowly over time, so they're a lot smaller than they used to be. Now, between the highlands and the Andes Mountains, the elevation drops, and this area is known as the Llanos. The Llanos is mostly made of grasslands, few trees, but not as forested as some of the other areas. Next to that, you have the Orinoco River Basin, which is along the Orinoco River, and the river itself flows at over 1,600 miles. Within the river here, you'll see lots of different types of wildlife. In the river, piranha, catfish, and crocodiles are common. The crocodiles can reach lengths of over 20 feet. And piranha, despite what you see in Hollywood, like on TVs and the movies, they're not actually just going to start eating people once you get in the river. They usually feast on scales of other fish or dead and decaying animals in the water. But other than that, they're relatively harmless to people. Now the pictures here show some of the wildlife around the Orinoco River Basin. So the crocodiles we talked about, the piranha, lots of species of birds, and small mammals and rodents. Now, due to the height of the Andes Mountains, which can reach over 18,000 feet, there are several different climate zones based on how high you up are in an elevation in the mountains. The first climate zone, called the Tierra Caliente, which also means hot country, is found near sea level, and it has a very hot and humid climate, so that's going to be your lowest climate zone. As you go higher in elevation, it gets a little cooler, and the next zone is called the Tierra Templada, which means temperate country. Temperatures here are pretty pleasant, not too hot and humid as the first level. The third level, Tierra Fria, means cold country, and you'll find lots of forests and grasslands here as your temperatures start to get cooler. The fourth zone, called the Paramo, is mostly made of grasslands and shrubs, and with some precipitation at night, when the temperatures get cooler, you can find frost occurring in this zone. And the last zone, Tierra Helada, which means frozen country, is the highest elevation, and this one's covered in snow. Now, for most of this area, it sits right along the equator, so that means they have warm temperatures year-round. And in some areas, you do have tropical savanna climate and humid tropical climate. In the southern part of Colombia, it sits right on the edge of the Amazon River Basin, an area that's extremely tropical and has the world's largest rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. In this part, rain falls here throughout the year, which creates the large rainforests and gives them enough water to grow. As far as resources are concerned, good soil is obviously an important resource here. Due to the tropical climate, the abundance of rainfall they get, this area is very great for growing crops. You do find lots of minerals, including iron ore and bauxite, can be found in the mountains. One of their major resources is timber. They get that from the forests that are located here, which they can use to build many things. The oceans give them fish and shrimp, and they're actually able to use the rivers for hydroelectric power. That's when they build dams along the rivers and use the flow of the water to turn generators to produce electricity. and that's an overview of Caribbean and South America. We will continue the study by looking at the countries individually next time.